Kathy Blaze. Today I am here with Mr. Philip Carlisle, actor, screenwriter. I'm
Mhm.
sure there's some more titles in there, but we'll get to those a little later. How's it going today?
Oh, it's doing very well. I just came from the airport after dropping my grandfather off. Yeah,
Okay, okay. I know the last time I was by the airport, it was a complete mess over there.
that was pretty slick today.
Good,
So,
good, good.
yeah,
Because I'd probably go that way on my way home.
yeah,
So thanks for joining us today.
yes,
Such a pleasure to have you here. And I know you brought us some trailers and you brought a book, so we're going to
yes.
be able to get into
A lot
those.
of content.
Yes. But first, when did you decide that you wanted to become an actor?
Well, my original college trajectory was actually in medicine. So I double majored in biomed and pre-med in
Okay.
college, but it was never really my choice, if you will. You just had
Mhm.
to pick a major in college. And I was good at most things. I'm like, well, just pick something that sounds good. And it came easy to me. So I'm like, well, just go this direction. But once I got to the point of doing like interviews for
Mhm.
grad school and staring down 4 more years of school, I'm like, this
Really?
does not feel right. So I put the brakes on and looked back into my past and like, what if I done on purpose that I completely wanted to do was completely voluntarily? And
Mhm.
it was acting. Like I had done acting as a kid growing up. The voluntary part of that was a little mixed at that point, but once I got into college, I did musical theater
Okay.
instead of soccer. So I'd done
Uh-huh.
soccer my freshman year. I'm like, I'm gonna mix that up. So I went out for theater, and it was great. So I'm like,
Wow.
let's try that again. So then I went back, and about 5 years ago, got my professional agent, and have been trying to climb the ladder ever since.
Wow. So you've been doing theater since college?
So
Oh,
I've done about 6 or 7 theater productions
okay.
uh, at the college level, and then kind of at the semi-pro level as a
Oh,
foundational bit of acting. But I've been
uh-huh.
doing film and commercial for the last 4 years.
Okay. Do you miss theater?
I miss the camaraderie of
Mm-hmm.
theater, not necessarily the time
Right. A lot of time
commitment.
invested. Yes.
Yeah, so it's very good foundational acting work, and it's very you get much more time with your fellow actors
Yeah.
to
Because
practice,
you really
obviously.
get to build some relationships in
Yes.
theater.
And I
Yeah.
do miss that. COVID has really put a. My last show was in 2019,
Mm,
and then just everything has been scattered or just not happening since then.
right. Did you have, well, you said you went to school for it. Besides college, did you have any other specialized training in the field?
So for acting, yes. So after I decided to focus more on acting,
Hmm.
I went to. It was called Next Star Productions. Looking
Okay.
back, it was one of those middleman kind of projects where
Hmm.
they would train you up a little bit and
Hmm.
then put on a production for
Okay.
agencies.
Okay.
So that kind of got me back into the flow of things. Uh, Talked to some agents. They said, well, every actor has to have this continued education
Right.
stuff. And I had only done theater just kind of like a walk on. So I didn't
Mm.
have formal foundational training. So after I learned that, I went back to ASU West. I went to Scottsdale Community College,
Uh-huh.
GCU, and then started just piecemealing every acting class I can get my hands on.
Hmm. I hear a lot of people talking about acting from Scottsdale. Is Scottsdale
Mhm.
have a bigger platform for the film industry? Do you know?
They have one of the more, I guess you could say, successful like film programs where you can
Okay.
major in it. So they
Uh-huh.
do have a more focused film part of their
Okay.
school. Some of the other schools they do it, but it's not
Right.
as well funded, well respected
Okay.
as Scottsdale
Because I
Community
know I've
College
heard
is.
a lot of
Mhm.
people, a few actors that I know, they've gone to Scottsdale for acting,
Yeah.
and some of them are like professional theater
Hmm.
actors, and
Yeah.
that's their thing,
Hmm.
and they've all graduated from Scottsdale.
Yeah. They
So,
have more of a focus on film and theater than other schools do.
so thus far you've been back into the film industry. You've been doing it for about 6 years now. You say,
Hmm.
at this point, can you tell me one of your favorite roles?
Oh, favorite roles. So for film, it probably was my most the biggest one that I've done so far is House of Quarantine.
Okay.
because it was one of the favorites because I got such a big part in it. I was able to interact with every character in
Okay.
the show. Sometimes if you get a smaller roles, you only have lines with 2 or 3 other characters,
Sure.
and you don't have to build your character to understand everybody else's.
And who was your character? What was he like?
So it was a film within a film plot line where this group of college students are making a film at a house when a pandemic starts, and then we're locked in the house.
Sounds familiar, doesn't
Yes, and it was actually literally happened to us that we were filming the film when the Arizona lockdowns literally happened.
it? Really?
So the film came to life while we were filming.
Wow.
And then there was a COVID outbreak within our cast that pushed it down the road for several months. We filmed it in the summer of 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. So it happened literally to us what we were doing. And it's a little bit darker. Things get ugly when you're locked in the house, and we're literally starving, and we're literally trying to survive because it was the pandemic in our world was much more severe.
Okay.
Like literally, if you left your house, the government would shoot you, type thing. So one of our cast members, that's how he dies.
That is in his film, you guys.
Yeah. So it's not for children. There's some aggressiveness. So if anybody's familiar with Lord of the Flies, that's a little bit what happens.
Oh. So I hear you brought us a trailer today.
Yeah. So I did bring a trailer for that House of Quarantine film.
Okay. But you also brought something that shows us where you used to be in acting,
yes,
right?
it was so like I mentioned before, my acting was a little bit more not my choice growing up, but there was a point in my life where it did become my choice, and that was many years ago, and it was at a freshman talent show in college, and it was the first time I got on stage for myself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at your trailer.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Hello? Hello? Hello, Iggy. It is King Arthur, and these are my knights of the round table. Whose castle is this?
This is the castle of my master, Dylan Wama.
Go and tell your master that we have been charged by God with a sacred quest. If he will give us food and shelter for the night, he can join us in our quest for the Holy Grail.
Well, I'll ask him, but I don't think he'll be very keen. Very good, you see?
What? You said he already got one. Are you sure he's got one?
Oh, yes, he's very nice.
Well, we have a look.
Of course not.
Your English tax you. What are you then?
I'm French.
So that was Genesis, and there's a little bit more of that clip, and then there's a second one for the fans of Monty Python. They might know the Constitutional Peasant. I did that one as well with 3 characters right after this one.
Okay. So was this a competition that you're doing here?
It was just a freshman talent show. They didn't
Okay.
really have winners.
Okay.
There wasn't an actual official winner loser stuff. It was
Okay.
just freshmen get up there and do your thing.
Okay.
So
Well, you were bold. You did it.
yeah, it was a very interesting. I remember deciding to do it, and it was a very freeing experience where it's like I can get up there and just do something on my own for fun, and it didn't come with all this other pressure and
Right.
expectations of my family and my parents and performances. It was just me with my characters just entertaining people, and that's kind of what acting is.
And you know what? I've always felt that you have that feeling when you're doing it in front of a live audience that is really freeing.
Hmm.
I it's just a different feeling from being
100%.
in
Yeah.
total. So you also brought something to show where you're at today.
Yes, the little before and after, if you will. So then I've got the trailer for that House of Quarantine, and
Okay.
it's great to see progress.
Yes. Let's see.
Lockdown. Scene 22, take 2. Mark.
The president announced an unprecedented nationwide lockdown.
Looks like we're going to be stuck here together.
We might as well finish the film.
We haven't even had lunch yet. Now you want us to keep filming after that?
We might as well. We can't be any more safe than we are right here.
Actually, this is perfect. We have enough food to last a while. None of us are sick.
No! You can't just leave me down here!
You plan to let him starve down there?
I'm just trying to keep him away from us.
We're running really low on food.
We may have to start rationing.
So now you're in charge.
He is the director.
Newsflash, we're not making the film anymore.
I can't believe I'm stuck here with you people.
You hear that?
It's a helicopter. Are they looking for something?
Or someone.
Daryl, you okay?
You're not sick too, are you?
We have a problem. We're gonna have to find him some medical help.
And how are we gonna do that?
911. How can 911 not be answering?
I'm trying to stop him.
Please, I need help! Stop! Please don't shoot! I'm just sick!
What just happened?
They're killing people that try and leave.
So what's the plan next?
She may have figured out a way out of here.
That's not an option. I think you should quarantine.
Is that a gun?
Sit down.
Hostile takeover leads to new leadership.
You didn't let him get away with this?
Where are you hiding?
Making sure I get out of this alive.
Had it with you!
Is that all you got?
No idea how long we're gonna be here.
Wow.
So a little different flavor.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I wanted more. I want to see that. That looks
Yeah,
very
it's
interesting.
currently on Netflix
Is-
and YouTube and several other. I think Hulu and Vudu. I think.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look for that. It
Mhm.
looks really interesting. I wanted to keep watching. So you're in screenwriting. You also have a book you brought with you today.
Yeah, so that's actually much more personal
Okay.
to me as far as my creative endeavors go. I mean, I'm doing the film, trying to do that as a career, but for where my heart is more here. So this is a hard copy proof. It's not published yet, and there are 7 more.
Oh.
And they're all finished, and the screenplay for this book 1 is also finished.
So give us a little background behind this. What inspired you to write this? And
So it's a who. So I met her in October of 2008 at a school I was at in California.
Mhm.
And she still is, a very paradoxical figure in my life. Was somebody that I felt I had the best connection to of anybody I've ever met,
Mhm.
but she didn't share that.
Hmm.
So our relationship, when it was going well, it had this fantasy kind of story undertone to it, where we would tell each other stories. We had a little pretend stuff where she was a sorceress and I had a leviathan as my pet, and it was very magical. And
So you put all this magic here.
yes, so instead of when our paths separated, it was, well, I can't let the magic die. I have to save it some way.
Right.
So it started as a Facebook conversation with her, where she just said, "Tell me a story." And I literally just started typing, and I got a couple pages, and she's like, "Well, that was really fun. You should keep doing that." and I kept doing it for over 10 years.
Congratulations.
And the series is finished now. And I have, like I said, the screenplay for the first book, as well as a publishing, producing scheme that I think is reflective of the uniqueness of the project, the uniqueness of her. I don't have any intention of just throwing it at the first publisher that will take it and treat it just like a random book. It's so not random to me.
Right. So you took this book and you're ready to put it in film now.
So I'm trying to do it. I have the film script for it. I think it would be a fantastic visual film. It's a fantasy adventure novel series that has reimagined mermaid characters. It has a sorceress. It has dragons that are incarnations of your soul. It has a lot of.
Do you have a name for it?
So Surviving Eros is the overarching title, and Eros, EROS, as one of the forms of love.
So if our audience want to know more about it and what you do, where can they find you?
So I have my Instagram, a Facebook, and a website. The first chapter would be available on the website if they would want to read that.
It was such a pleasure having you here today.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for sharing
where you
began and where you're at now.
Yeah. You have to stop and look at your progress. Sometimes.
Yes, that is true. Thank you.
Thank you for your time as well.
You're welcome. Join us next time on Desertwood Day.